It's been a crazy couple of weeks and a lot has happened between leaving Bali, flying home to surprise my parents, spending time with my close friends here in Ireland, flying to Poland to spend Christmas, going to a ski resort, and now I'm back here. Honestly, chaotic. Super grateful, but a lot has happened that I need to catch up with you on. And this video is essentially going to show you how I'm resetting for 2024, because believe me, I am so out of routine and I strive with routine. Although traveling is great, it has really made me a little anxious because I am all over the place. Everything's all over the place. Training, diet. So today is a Sunday and I am properly resetting, not just for the whole week, for 2024, and I want to bring you with me. Last time we spoke, I was going on a trip to Australia from Bali to visit one of my friends, and I was just doing a fat loss phase. So essentially what I was telling you is that I was going on a cruise week, what I like to call it, or essentially 2 weeks of just like maintaining the results that I have achieved, just to allow myself more flexibility and actually enjoy the traveling. I came back then just at the start of December and was wrapping up my fat loss phase about mid-December, as I was going to be traveling then for the rest of the year. And to be honest, like, I was happy to put a pause on it on week 10. I'm going to insert the results here so you can see where I have gotten in the space of 10 weeks. And to be honest, it was the most enjoyable fat loss phase as such, because I didn't put so much pressure on myself. I didn't make fat loss like an identity of mine. I still wanted to just like live my everyday life. I still wanted to like go away on like weekends and travel. I didn't track either. I was eating out, as I mentioned in my previous videos. Would my results have been better if I decided to be more rigid with my nutrition and track all my intake? Yes, more than likely, but that wasn't my goal. Aesthetics hasn't been a goal of mine for a very long time, and although I decided to lean out, it was purely just to get a bit more hands-on with my habits. My main focus for the last while has really just been on prioritizing my health, my well-being, and keeping my hormones happy and not doing anything that would disturb them. I wrapped that up and I flew back to Ireland. It was so nice just to see everyone. I surprised my family. I've realized I'm so bad at multitasking, so I've been dabbing the foundation into my face for the last 5 minutes, whereas there's no need. But clearly I cannot talk and do my makeup at the same time, but we'll try. I then flew to Poland for Christmas, so my flight was on Christmas Eve, and I got to spend Christmas with literally all my family, which was so wholesome. And I am beyond grateful to have such an amazing family and for everyone to be so close. There's no drama, everyone kind of went their own ways, but when we get together, and it's usually Christmas, I mean, everyone gets together. There's about 20 of us and everyone has a very good time. Shortly after Christmas, I went down to the slopes skiing for like a family trip again. I've been traveling for the last 3.5 weeks. Don't get me wrong, I'm still beyond grateful to be able to do that, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be super honest with you that it really throws me off routine, and my diet has just been less than ideal. I definitely was feeling the impact it had on my like overall health, because my body, my digestion, my health, my immunity just responds really well when I'm in a routine and eating like whole, real, nutrient-dense foods. And your diet is so powerful. Like, the food that you eat will have an impact not on just how you look, but like how you feel, how energetic you are, how your mood is. So I definitely am very in tune with that, and I could notice the impacts of it. Regardless, it was a nice time to reflect. I done a 2023 review, and one thing that I will say to you is, before, I know this is going out at like the second week of 2024, and you might have already set new year goals and new year resolutions. But if you haven't, or even if you have, I would definitely recommend to do a yearly review, because that's a mistake that I've done in the past, is that when New Year would come around, I would jump on the bandwagon to set this lofty goals for the year without actually reflecting on what happened the year before in terms of like what went well and what did I learn, what didn't go well and what did I learn from that. Being more self-aware of my actions and my habits, because self-awareness is really key. That's what I came to learn. If you don't know your behaviors and essentially the things that are driving you forward and the things that are holding you back, then you can't really influence them. I'm a no MUA, as you probably can tell, and usually my makeup takes me about 8 minutes, but it's taken me about half an hour because I clearly cannot multitask and I keep stopping to talk to you. Also, my skin is not cooperating with me. Travel does that to me. I usually do break out when I'm traveling, and obviously just the diet not being ideal over the last couple of weeks. I'm just feeling like a little bit of a toe, okay? Not being negative towards myself, but you know when you just need to redo your brows, your lashes, your nails. Like everything hasn't been done in so long, and I just need a self-care day and a retouch of everything so I can just feel more vibrant. So one way to combat this is just to make myself look good, because when I think I look good, I feel good. The lighting here is absolutely shocking, so I apologize for that, but what I found that increases my productivity and me showing up better for everyday tasks, most basic tasks, just me having more energy and doing things with more conviction, I suppose, is when I spend a little bit of time putting effort into myself. And I'm not talking about full-on makeup and a blow dry and a fancy outfit that takes up half an hour or an hour of your day in the morning. But saying that, I personally found that getting up a little bit earlier and spending some time, and I mean my morning routine, the whole thing of like getting dressed, washing my face, brushing my teeth, putting on a little bit of makeup, even if it's just like powder and concealer, and brushing my hair, takes me 15 minutes and I'm out the door. Something as small as that, as actually having intentional tasks to put in effort into myself, means that I myself will put more effort into things that I do in everyday life, like on daily basis, and it really works. Essentially, putting in time into yourself is a habit I've been implementing in the last couple of months and a habit I'm bringing into 2024. With the new year also comes this hype of setting big goals and jumping straight into them and trying to achieve everything in 1 month. And believe me, I've been there, done that. It was almost like January 1st came around and it was this big reset and new year, new me. And it usually backfired because I just ended up overwhelming myself, and this year is different, or I'm hoping to, but I realized that I have 12 months to achieve what I want to achieve, and I don't need to break my back in order to jump into every single habit in the first week of January. And to be honest, it has been a slow start for me. I only got back to Ireland last night, and if I'm being totally honest, it has taken me a while to even figure out what sort of goals I want, and I'm still not 100% clear, and there is a lot of pressure in order to set these massive goals and achieve big things, but sometimes life is just confusing. I'm 25 and I feel that is kind of the age when you start to question a lot of things, and you start to question your decisions, and you start to maybe beat yourself up that you should be further in life than you are. And although I am very aware that comparison is the thief of joy, it's still easier said than done, and I still fall into the trap of looking at where other people are and perhaps thinking I should be somewhere else. I haven't necessarily set massive big goals as such. I'm winging this raspberry around. Like, again, I can't multitask. I'm just like, like, I know it's rude to eat with my mouth open, but give me a second. What I have done, and maybe it's a framework that you can use for yourself, I wrote a list, split my life into various areas, and that is health and fitness, money and finances, career, self-development, and then relationships and friendships. And I've rated them out of 10, and then if they haven't received a score of 10, then I asked myself what is missing and what can I do about it. I've broken them down into what can I do on like a monthly basis, a weekly basis, or even on a daily basis to get closer to the score of 10 in those areas, because I am really struggling with balance, and I do realize that you can't have everything at once. You can have everything, yes, over time, but I don't think, and that could be just like my own personal opinion, but I don't think all these factors can be balanced all at once. And last year, I definitely noticed that some areas were definitely lacking as a result of me prioritizing others. So I guess this year what I really had to get clear on is like, what do I want to prioritize in my life, and knowing that it's not forever. Because I'm prioritizing this, that does not mean that I won't be able to prioritize other things further down the line. Also, just because I'm prioritizing one thing doesn't mean I'm gonna just completely put zero effort into the others. For example, if I want to prioritize my work and my career for this year, or maybe the first half of the year, that does not mean I'm gonna put in zero effort into friendships and relationships. I tried doing it all last year and it just didn't work. So it's actually just coming to terms that I'm gonna excel in some areas better than others.
A little turn of events, but before I get back into organizing, we're going to view a puppy. Welcome to the new edition of the family. Okay, so now big decisions to be made because we need to pick a name for this little baby boy. Yes, you're so cute. Hello. Oh, yeah. Basically, before going grocery shopping, what I do is write out a rough meal plan of the meals that I'm gonna have for the week, because that means that I'm only buying what I actually need, and I'm more likely to stick to what I am planning for myself to eat, and B, it saves money, and it's just so much quicker to pick up what I need rather than browsing around the shops and picking up random bits, and then I end up eating randomly, and random actions lead to random results, and we don't want that. We want to be getting back on track. Obviously, I haven't cooked in Bali. That means I haven't really done proper grocery shops either. So it's like my first time in Aldi in ages. And I forgot how entertaining the middle aisle of Aldi is. What I've done to make things a lot easier for myself in terms of sticking to a good nutrition diet is wrote out a rough meal plan. And the way I go about it is have a structure. It's something that I follow because I'm not tracking and I'm not intending to track. So I do have some set of rules. You can check out in my previous video where I talk about how I'm dropping body fat without tracking, but I do follow a set of, for the lack of better word, rules in terms of like how I eat, and one of them is following a structure. So basically, before I go out and do my grocery shop, I write out that rough meal plan by breaking down my day into 3 meals and a snack. Breakfast always stays the same for me, and it has for the last couple of months. Even if I be eating out, I still choose like a variation of eggs, fruit, maybe some sourdough. It just makes things easier because I do not have to use up my willpower and decision making skills in order to make decisions from the get-go. We all have willpower, right? But all willpower just diminishes as the day goes on because we have to use up more mental energy. That's why you might find yourself, or I do anyway, I do find myself that comes the evening time, if I had a day that required a lot of my brain power, I no longer make decisions that are necessary in line with my goals in terms of nutrition. So this is why breakfast is already set. I know what I'm having. I know what I'm having every day. I don't have to make that decision in the morning. And then when it comes to lunch, dinner, and snacks, I will choose 2 to 3 options for each. So 3 options for lunch, 3 options for dinner, maybe 2 options for snack, and I will rotate between them during the week. So A, that gives me variety, but B, it doesn't give me too much autonomy, because freedom and flexibility are important when it comes to decision. But I personally find when I have too much of it, I get overwhelmed and I tend to just like gravitate away from just sticking to the basics. And for me, the basics work. Mastering the basics is what helps me just kind of like stay on top of everything.
The first thing that I am going to be doing is actually organizing my space, because clear space equals clear mind. So in order to be productive, to think clearly, I just need to be organized externally. So this is embarrassing, but I still have my suitcase from Bali, which is unpacked. So we're going to be sorting through this, and a pile of clothes which I have washed and have not put away. But essentially, I just want to do a wardrobe clear out. I have done a wardrobe clear out just before moving to Bali, and I am just trying to be even more minimalistic. There we go. Why was this so hard to say? Living in Bali for 8 months, I just had one suitcase. All my clothes were put out on like a rack, and this is all I worked with, and I was perfectly fine. Whereas here, I've literally a full wardrobe and a shit ton of clothes in the attic, and I'm realizing I just don't need that much stuff. Obviously, being in hot climates and living in a bikini basically 24/7, so apart from like a bikini and gym clothes, I don't need much. I'm still like, I still do not need as much as I do now. So the goal is to try and just be more intentional with things that I do buy. I want some staples. I'd rather invest more money into good quality clothes that I can rewear and pair together, rather than just buying more and more for the sake of it, and actually having like just a specific style, something that I just don't have to make a ton of decisions with. Second thing that I'm going to be organizing, which is even more chaotic than my bedroom. I wouldn't even say my bedroom is really chaotic, apart from, there we go, that wardrobe and a pile of clothes. But this is honestly, this is shocking, but look at that. So this is my office, and while I was gone, it has transformed into a storage room. So everything is everywhere, and as you can see, it's not exactly the best place to do work at and be productive at. So we are going to be handling this today as well, and making sure that I have space, it's clear, it's organized, so tomorrow when I am back into a good flow of work, I have a nice clear space. I'm definitely staying hydrated in 2024. Shout out to my gal Kira for gifting this to me for Christmas, because it's honestly the best thing ever. I love it. I love the color. It's so on brand. Size, the fact that it has a straw. If you're ever struggling with drinking water, buy yourself a pretty water bottle and one that has a straw, because you can literally just put it on the desk beside you if you're working or doing anything or cleaning like I am, and then just sip on it throughout the day. Another task tick off the list for resetting for 2024. The bedroom is clean. There's my camera. Wardrobes aren't as perfect, but we have it all together, and that's the main thing. And look, we'll close the door, and that's the issue solved. We'll look at the office space. Obviously, we're gonna ignore this part because essentially I can't do anything about that. But the main thing is the main character here, which is the desk. I did get myself a mic for recording podcasts, so these shall be coming back as well. What I'm also doing, which I do every Sunday anyway, is essentially planning my week ahead. I'm using Google Calendar. I like both written and digital forms. So first of all, I look at my Google Calendar. I look at a whole week. That way I have like a bird's overview, and I will schedule in things that stay constant first of all. So I have time slots. I use a technique called time blocking to block out time. So for example, I have my morning routine, then I have another time block for lunch, I have a time block when I'm like, okay, it's nighttime routine and bedtime, things that stay consistent. Second thing that I time block is my training. I'm starting a new training plan from tomorrow, so I had a look at that and I time blocked the days, what session I'm doing and what time, because that way when it's already scheduled in my calendar, I treat it as if it's an appointment. I wouldn't be somebody that would just cancel an important appointment, whether that be with like a specialist, business appointment, a medical appointment or whatnot. I wouldn't just cancel it last minute, and that's the same mindset that I am applying when I schedule things into my calendar. Like, I don't want to make commitments and then not show up, because the biggest commitment that you can make is a commitment with yourself. I'm not being overly ambitious. I'm not using my Google Calendar as the be all end all, because I know that things will change and I will have to stay flexible. So I'm fully aware of that, and I do try to be as adaptable as possible. Nevertheless, that doesn't mean that I cannot set the best intentions possible for the whole week. So that is literally a task I've been doing for years now, and it's just worked so well for me. I feel like I'm just so over the place when you have so much tasks and things to do, but whatever it is, whether that's college, whether that's work, kids, assignments, projects, deadlines, whatever it is, it's really easy to fall into the mindset of I don't have time. Whereas I think for the large part is a matter of it being a priority. And for me, if I just don't schedule things in ahead of the time, the likelihood of getting them done is pretty slim, because I get overwhelmed, things get pushed out till the next day, to the following day, till next week, next month, and to be honest, they probably never get completed. The other thing that I would block out is my work tasks. When I'm doing checkings, client fulfillment, content brainstorming, content recording, and like admin, all the business stuff gets time blocked into my week as well. And I also like leave things blank, and I don't necessarily schedule in self-care stuff as much as I should, because I definitely recommend that to my clients. But I do, in a sense, although I don't schedule things in, I leave blank spaces in my calendar for those to happen. If you're somebody that gets really overwhelmed with the amount of tasks that you do have to do, then I would really recommend planning. You can download Google Calendar on your laptop or your phone, and it's for free, and use it as like a digital form. You could also buy yourself like a planner and have it as like a pen and paper form, which works well for some people. So the last job for today is essentially just to prep some food ahead of the week, and instead of doing full-on meal prep, I'm just gonna batch cook some things that take a long time to cook, so then when I'm having my meals I can just throw them together. I already wrote out a rough meal plan of what I want to have, so I don't have to make those decisions, but I do have a little bit of extra time just to prepare those meals a little bit more fresh, rather than packing them into lunch boxes and putting them into the fridge. So the first thing that I'll be doing is I'm going to be preparing the sweet potato, so that's going to be my carb source. And then for my protein sources, I'm going to have salmon for dinner, and then I have some chicken breast here which I'm going to be having for lunch. That I'll be pairing with this microwavable whole grain rice and quinoa, which is super handy. For half the pack it has 171 calories and 4.5 grams of protein, so I'm getting some extra protein from that, and some stir-fried veg, so I can just throw everything on the pan, but it's just going to take a lot quicker to make when I have the chicken poached. This is a very unconventional way of preparing sweet potato, but essentially what I do is I cut off the ends, and I will cut this in half, and then I'll make little slits into it just to allow it for some air. Then add a little bit of water at the bottom of the lunchbox, and I'm gonna pop that into the microwave for about 8 minutes. I mean, these are pretty big chunks of sweet potato, so it might take a little longer, but it's usually between 5 to 8, and then I will check how it is. But as honestly, it's a lazy way of meal prepping, and like I said, I'm a lazy girl, and I will work smarter, not harder, and believe me, I will find tips and tricks to make things easier if it can be done. Again, I'm gonna be super efficient and working smarter, not harder. So I'm gonna be doing 3 things at once. I have 2 pots here with hot water. Well, water, I'm gonna turn on the hops now. But I'm gonna poach my chicken in one, adding a stock cube, so there's a little bit of flavor to it as well. Then I'm gonna be adding some salt into this one, and I'm gonna boil my broccoli. And then I have a pan here which I'm gonna make teriyaki salmon fillets, and I'm gonna be essentially doing everything at once while my sweet potatoes are in the microwave. And essentially this is how I make meal prep. Super simple and easy. And there we have it. Super simple, super quick. Honestly, it took like less than 20 minutes. We've got our chicken breast prepped here, or teriyaki salmon, sweet potatoes and broccoli, and I'll be able to just like pair them for like my lunch and dinner. Let me know if you'd like me to do a full day of eating high protein balanced meals, keeping hormones happy, energy stable. Then let me know in the comments below. And that's it all for today, so I'll be seeing you in the next video.